Welcome back to another Good For You Tip of the Week. So in today's video, I'm talking about 3 surprising facts about vitamin D and some foods that are a good source. Vitamin D is sometimes called the sunshine vitamin, and that's because it's produced in our skin in response to sunlight. It's a fat-soluble vitamin that's in a family of compounds that include vitamin D1, 2, and 3. So our bodies have the ability to produce vitamin D when it's in direct exposure to sunlight. You can get it through certain foods and supplements to ensure adequate levels of vitamin D in your blood. Vitamin D has several important functions, and perhaps the most important ones include regulating the absorption of calcium and phosphorus, as well as facilitating normal immune system response. Getting a sufficient amount of vitamin D is important for normal growth and development of bones and teeth, as well as improved resistance against certain diseases. So, if your body doesn't get enough vitamin D, you're at an increased risk of developing abnormalities in the bones, such as soft bones, which is known as osteomalacia, or fragile bones, also known as osteoporosis. Here are 3 surprising facts that you might not know, which are benefits of having enough vitamin D. Vitamin D can fight off disease. In addition to its primary benefits, research has suggested that vitamin D can play a very important role in reducing your risk of multiple sclerosis. This is according to a study that was done in 2006 and published in the Journal of the American Medical Association. Number 2, it can decrease your chances of developing heart disease. This is a study that was published in 2008 in Circulation. Lastly, it can help reduce your likelihood of developing the flu. This study was published in the Journal of Clinical Nutrition in 2010. Did you know that vitamin D can help reduce depression? So research has shown that vitamin D may play an important role in regulating mood and warding off depression. In one study, scientists found that people with depression who received vitamin D supplements noticed an improvement in their symptoms. In another study, people with fibromyalgia, research found that vitamin D deficiency was more common in those who were experiencing anxiety and depression. Number 3, vitamin D can boost weight loss. Who doesn't want that? Consider adding vitamin D supplements to your diet if you're trying to lose weight or prevent heart disease. In one study, people taking a daily calcium and vitamin D supplement were able to lose more weight than subjects taking a placebo. The scientists said that the extra calcium and vitamin D acted as an appetite-suppressing effect. In another study, overweight people who took daily vitamin D supplements improved their heart disease risk markers. Okay, so now we have to be aware of vitamin D deficiencies. Many factors can affect our ability to produce our own vitamin D in sufficient amounts. These factors include being in an area where it's highly polluted. Secondly, using sunscreen when we're out. Spending too much time indoors. Living in big cities where buildings actually block sunlight. And lastly, having darker skin. The more melanin that we have in our skin makes it more difficult for us to absorb vitamin D. These factors can actually contribute to vitamin D deficiency in increasing numbers of people. That's why it's also important to supplement your vitamin D not only with sunlight but with foods and vitamin D supplement vitamins itself. All right, so the symptoms of vitamin D deficiency in adults include tiredness, achiness, a general sense of not feeling well, severe bone and muscle pain, and muscle weakness. Also, something not to look over is stress fractures, usually in the legs, the pelvis, and the hips. And I've noticed them even in my patients a lot of times in the feet. So the doctors can diagnose vitamin D deficiency by performing a simple blood test. If you are deficient, your doctor will likely recommend a daily vitamin D supplement. If you have a severe deficiency, they may instead recommend high doses of vitamin D tablets or liquid form. So you should also make sure to get enough vitamin D through sunlight and foods. So a few foods contain vitamin D naturally. Because of this, some foods are fortified. That means that the vitamin D has been added to the food. Some of these foods that contain vitamin D are salmon, sardines, egg yolks, shrimp, fortified milk, fortified cereal, fortified yogurt, and fortified orange juice. Now, you know I'm a big advocate with just say no to sugar. So the last four I'd recommend to take in small increments if you're going to use that as a vitamin D source. They are usually high amounts of sugar in there. All right, so it could be really hard to get enough vitamin D each day through sun exposure by itself or food alone. So taking a high quality vitamin D supplement can help. So the next question is, how much vitamin D do we need to take? There's been a lot of controversy over how much vitamin D is needed for healthy functioning. Recent studies and research indicates that we actually need more vitamin D than we previously thought. Normal blood serum levels range from 50 to 100 micrograms per deciliter of blood. Depending on your vitamin D blood levels, you may need more vitamin D than somebody else. So the Institute of Food and Agricultural Sciences reports new recommendations based on international units, also known as IUs per day. IUs are standard types of measurements for drugs and vitamins. IUs help experts determine recommended doses, toxicity, and deficiency levels for each person. One IU is not the same for each type of vitamin. An IU is determined by how much of that substance or that vitamin produces an effect in our body. So the most recent recommendations of IU for vitamin D are children and teens should aim for 600 IUs per day. Adults up to the age of 70 should aim for 600 IUs per day. Pregnant or breastfeeding women should aim for 600 IUs per day. And adults over 70 should aim for 800 IUs per day. Well, fam, that's all I have for you on vitamin D. I hope this video was helpful. Thank you for tuning in as usual. Don't forget to hit the like button, share it with your friends, make it a great day, and I'll see you next week.